in the all of everything, it is at the pretty much realigned. It's like if you were to say the house is just about remodeled. The walls are there, the stairs are there, the doors in the closets are there. There might be some, okay, I got to put a doorknob here or hang a mirror there, or or there may be some grout work to be done on some tile, but the majority of it's done. It's the final stuff. You can say it's in the final countdown of being okay. There are not really any mass amounts of those in the all of everything, excluding the universe of the souls, that will be going into the singularity. There may be an odd one here or there, but the situation is that even if someone, as divinity is always self-balancing, always realigning, and as God has realigned everything that exists in the all of everything, which is like the multiverse plus divine realm and some other places, but we're not going to go into all that. Okay, because divinity is self-balancing and He's realigned it, there still will be movement and creativity, but as this is experienced and something moves a little bit in one direction, they will naturally self-balance. And the environment will also be inclined towards this self-balancing of divinity. So there is not a need for, there will not be any mass amounts from the all of everything that are going into the singularity from this point forward. There may be an odd one here or there that God was very patient with, and they just go a little berserkoid. But generally speaking, we're not going to see any 100 or 1,000 more from the all of everything and start all over again. That's not going to happen in the all of everything. In the universe of the souls. The universe of the souls was the most distorted, wobbled, diseased. And God is very patient because He understands that the reason behind the distortions, how they got to the distortion, and why they're acting that way. It's like an injured animal or a sick child. They are louder, they're whiny, they may create more problems, but that's because the distortions are so bad. So He is patiently and lovingly realigning us here in the universe of the souls at a slower pace. And those who live in the darkest of the dark are even going at a slower rate than even the rest of the universe of the souls. Most of those from the universe of the souls that have already gone into the singularity, these are ones that refuse the realignment and actively work against it, not as in a reactionary, childlike or pain reaction, but as in a determination, but in a determined, conscious choice to actively work towards disharmony and distortion. They actively work against God's grand divine plan. The majority of those from the universe of the souls that have already gone into the singularity, who have been of this nature, have not been of earth. They are not what we would call a heavily earth associated. They are of what we would consider from this perspective of earth that we are living in now, they would be what we would call higher dimensional beings. Because there are those of these higher dimensions that were they like hierarchy. They like the way it's not just like, it is like, not even like a drug. What is that like? It's like a slimy power, haughtiness. I don't know what to call it. They have this thing, and their very being has, and their identity has become tied in with this. And in realignment, there is no hierarchy. These ones, as there is no hierarchy, and they experience no hierarchy, because as the divinity is realigned, hierarchy no longer exists in any form whatsoever. There's nothing of hierarchy. Those who have become acclimated fully into their very identity, the sense of hierarchy and being of higher than. I am the teacher of those that don't know as much. When they have this, and they are no longer in that position, they will feel as though they are lesser than. They will lose their identity and will become insane. And they will do anything to reestablish hierarchy in some form, and it will not be allowed. And those who cannot exist outside of hierarchy are going into the singularity. The majority of those in the universe of the souls that have gone into the singularity are of these higher dimensions at this point. God has not en masse began bringing those who are souls that are having experiences on earth at this time. He is not bringing those into the singularity at this time. He is seeing them as injured animals and children. And he is being very compassionate with them. If God were, at this exact moment, to immediately, very quickly, just realign this earth, this time space, billions would go into the singularity. Very quickly, billions would go into the singularity. And God is not going to do that, because he will work caringly and lovingly as long as there is any hope. That is not his intention at all. That is not what he would want at all. So he is going through this long, intricate, tedious process. The darkest of the dark has not been experienced in mass, those going into the singularity. We are in the realigning process. He is calming. Right now we feel like we're in chaos, but he's realigning and bringing us into, there is a calmness that comes about as you realign. You may not even notice that it's there, because the flashiness of the chaos around you may be getting all your attention, but in your soul, there is a calmness that is coming in, a healing that is coming in. You can think of it this way. Say that you have had the flu for a long time, and you had it really, really bad, and the flu turned into pneumonia. Okay? And so they treat the flu virus, may have already be pretty much handled. Now you have this pneumonia that's set in. And as you're being treated for the pneumonia, you may still be having trouble breathing. You may still be coughing, sneezing, getting tired, and having all these symptoms, and think that you're just in this horrible state. But if they look to an x-ray of your lungs, they may show that you're actually getting better. And you may not realize it, but you may be sleeping a little longer. And not coughing quite as much. You might still be coughing, and that's all you're noticing. But it is calming. Right now, even though you don't believe it and it doesn't look like it, the souls are being realigned. You've passed the 50% realignment. It is calming down. It is balancing a little better than it used to. There's still some big wobbles that you still have, but it is balancing. God is going to bring everyone to the 100% realignment. Those that absolutely and by choice refuse that and are determined to keep hierarchy and other distortions will then go into the singularity. But it's like a good parent will not punish a sick child for screaming a lot while they're sick. The parent will help the child not feel sick and then see if the child still screams a lot. God is getting everybody well and then sees what the child is. So just keep trying to focus and see if you can notice the calmness. And when you can find it, even if it's just for a few minutes, say, I see it. And then if it goes away because there's coughing or wobbling or whatever, okay, but you see it. And you will find it maybe a few minutes more here and a few minutes more there, or you'll see it and let that happen. And accept the realignment. You do not have any comprehension of a society that lives and exists and is built upon 100% divinity. It is nothing like anything that has ever existed in the universe of the souls before. So it's not like anything else. You're just going to have to go there, be there, take some deep breaths, see what it's like, and then move forward. All of this is going. All of this is going. Just breathe, find the calm, focus on it, know that it's getting better. The more you try to hold on to anything that is crashing around you right now, the more difficult it will be to remain in realignment. And those who cannot or will not remain in realignment will go into the singularity. That will be your soul's decision.